Today, motivation is at an all-time low. It's just a day where I don't want to do the run, I just want to have the run done. But it wouldn't be satisfying to not do it, it would just be annoying that I didn't do it and to go home and, you know, relax. So I love those days where you don't do it because you don't care about doing it and you'd rather not do it and you'd feel better having not done it. If I went home, I'd be annoyed that I didn't do it, so I gotta go do it. Does that make sense? I'm just gonna run really far one way, so I need to double back and run 2 times as far back to the van. I said on my last run that I've been trying to train my brain into liking like things flapping about, like my phone or things in my pocket, to like that and not be annoyed about, I don't know, little things sort of irritating me or distracting me on my run, or like a little lump in my sock. Sometimes sounds stupid, it's such a small little thing, but that would like ruin my run. Lately I've been really good at just ignoring all those little things and just having good runs regardless any little thing bugging me, until days like this where I'm not really in the mood to run. Every little thing bugs me, every little thing is like annoying. My socks feel weird, my shoes feel heavy, my phone hitting my legs annoying me. But I know once I get a couple miles in, you know, those little annoyances, if I can just try to drown them out, I'll be in a good mood. Starting to cheer up a little bit. I was kind of prepared to be grumpy still, but I'm not. The cool thing about running, when you do quite a lot of runs, so many miles, even the bad runs end up being still pretty good compared to how you were at the start. Even on your bad runs, when you're really into it, they can still be quite far, they can still be a good pace. Mentally, you can just be a bit grumpy, but it's cool still being able to do what feels like a good run on a bad run day. It's a really cool feeling, and I feel like I need to constantly remind myself of that, even on a bad day where I don't want to run, or if I know it's going to be a bad run, if I'm not feeling good, still get out, still get a couple of miles, because with just a bit of effort you can make a bad run day still good. Nothing profound there, just a common knowledge, but it's something I do forget every single time, and it's good to always remind yourself that. I'm not trying to be like some sort of inspirational runner guy, but you could think of running placing a small stone on a cairn on a Munro. You know, you could put a big brick on, you could do a big run, or you could do a little run and chuck a little stone on. You do that daily, day after day. The small stones are going to build up. You're going to get a big little mountain. Some days you might chuck a big brick on, make a big mountain. It's only when you stop that the wind starts to trickle off and knock away those little stones. But if you can stay consistent with it and keep chucking on little stones day by day, big or small, you'll build that cairn. Just thought of that there. Thought it was kind of cool. A good little visual representation of becoming just a world-class athlete one day, maybe, right? Also, adding on to that little cairn analogy that I just thought of, the small runs that you do and you kind of force them out and you get it done even though when you didn't want to, those fill in the gaps of the big stones. All those little stones are going to do is strengthen the whole thing. You may have like stacked these huge runs on the days where you were feeling great, you know, you've got all these high scores on Strava that you put on your story, but then there's a person who did 5k every other day for a whole year. They're the better runner because I had the mental strength to get out there every other day when you just did that hard run. The small stones are the important ones. That's what builds your mind and makes you just durable. And that's the person who's going to run the furthest. I love that. And I've never thought of it that way. It's always on these kind of shit runs, shit days, where I have these thoughts and I leave it and I'm like, man, that was a good fucking run. I did not want to do it, but I did do it and I feel fantastic. Just some thoughts. Biggest takeaway I've ever had from just fitness as a whole, it's absurd the amount of confidence it can give you. Not so much with getting stronger, getting faster, getting more fit, but just with the accountability and telling yourself you're going to do something and doing it. Because, you know, I think that's where the confidence comes from. You tell yourself who you are and then you show yourself you are by doing that. Because there's nothing worse than when you want to be something but time and time again you're not living up to that. You know, that's where you find who you really are. When you do the things you say you're going to do and you do them well and you just make yourself proud. If you can be accountable to yourself, that's where true confidence is built. Everything gets better when you're true to yourself. Anyway, back to the run. I'll shut up. It's randomly quite fitting, isn't it? I love little things like that. It's such a crazy feeling when you start running and then you get to the point where you're able to run to the next town. You know, like there's the place where you live, you run to the next one. It becomes even crazier when you're in that next town and you're like, let's run to the next town. I'm 3 towns deep and I'm running into the nearest city. So fucking crazy. Obviously, like other people, some people run so much further. People do some mental shit, but I don't. And I said before, it's not all about the long runs, but the big ones really put everything into perspective. How much work you put in and just what you're capable of doing. I think we're well over halfway. I should have turned back a long time ago, but instead I'm just going to keep running. There's someone I kind of want to see. I was gonna try to do the full marathon, but I just don't think it's in the cards today. But a little spontaneous 30k'er, not too bad. And I thought I'd end it here. I'm to go see my granddad. In a little while since I've been. Told me that he did a marathon once. He told me this story a few times and every time it was a little bit different, and really athletic guy, but wasn't technically like a runner. Never really did like long distance running or cross country, marathon, you know, none of that. But one time there was like a sort of spontaneous, there was like an event going and then he competed in it and he did so well in it that he won a watch because of it. A watch that I think he kept until the day that he died. Think about that every time I go on like a run. Granddad and his marathon, there's just something so funny and so like relatable to me. Just the idea of like, you want to do a marathon? Ah, you okay? Like him just kind of agreeing to it, and the fact that, you know, he placed like first, second, third. He won a watch. Whatever spot gets you a watch, I guess. I didn't do a marathon today. 32-kilometer is as far as I got. But one of these days I will do a marathon, and when I do, I'll think about Grandad. Maybe I'll even go buy myself a watch. And keep it till I die.